What's up, Dave? We're looking at your GmC Yukon. One of the things we looked at during our inspection is your air filter. You know, it doesn't look too dirty, but if we look closer, we can see black dirtiness in there in between these. You know, and these are generally recommended every 12,000 miles. I'm not sure when's the last time you replaced it. It doesn't look too old, but you know that maybe it's getting close or maybe it's time to replace it. This is your brake fluid reservoir. Manufacturers recommend to replace it every 50,000 miles. And if you put a flashlight to it, we can see the inside. See how that's like a dark, very dark brown or yellow. And you know, brake fluid is supposed to be a clear color, a very bright yellow. As you can see, you know, it's a very dark color. I recommend to replace it. It looks like it hasn't been flushed in a very long time. So while we're checking your air filter, it gave us access to the throttle body. As you can see that carbon that's building up right here, all that the black right there, that's carbon, and that affects the throttle body. You know, it makes it stick, and sometimes it can cause a check engine light and cause a rough idle. And you know, we recommend to service it to clean it, so you won't have any issues in the future. Okay, so you see these silver hoses going down, and here we can see that it's leaking, and it's leaking. These are your radiator oil hoses. Recommend to replace it. You know, right now it's not dripping or anything, it's not, but we do recommend to replace it. You know, we don't want it to start leaking heavily. You know, we want to get it repaired soon so we don't have to deal with the whole oil leak and risking damage to the engine. Here we're looking at your serpentine belt. This belt, you know, it doesn't look original, but we do know it has age on it because we can see these little cracks. All these little cracks right here. That's showing us wear, and you know, there's no cracks or anything in the inside, just on the outside. And you know, recommend to replace it. These are generally recommended to replace every 50,000 miles, and we recommend to replace it. Here we're looking at your coolant reservoir. As you can see, there's coolant there. I'm not sure if it's leaking from the cap or maybe the reservoir. You know, we recommend maybe to do a coolant pressure test, and so we can see where that leak is coming from.